this is Tiffany with iHeartArtBlog.com, and I wanted to show you my SplitCoStampers.com Mixability Challenge Mix7 titled Splatterific. We're going to be using a wide array of supplies, primarily Faber-Castell Design Memory Craft, and we'll be making 6 cards. One of the easiest ways to achieve the splatter effect is to take some watercolor pigment, and the ones that I'm using are these Faber-Castell Design Memory Craft gelatos, and I have the colors right here. I'm using bubblegum, blueberry, metallic mint, banana, and Earl Grey, and you just water them down in a palette, and then you use a stipple brush, and the stipple brush is basically a hard bristled brush. And I have 2 sizes, so the large one of course will cover more surface area than the little one, so I am going to show you what they both look like. So the easiest thing to do is just to water down your pigment, and then to take all of that liquid, load it up. You can see that it's getting absorbed into the brush, and then lightly tap it onto your surface. And all I'm using is a Strathmore watercolor paper in my art journal, so you can see that the splatters were a bit big and that it covered a lot of the surface area. So the stipple brush is the easiest way to create splatter. If you are afraid of having a whole bunch of splats in your work area around your surface, I highly recommend using a box that you may have received in the mail, and I'm just using a large priority flat rate box, and then you just put your project in there and your work surface is saved from splatter. So I'm going to show you the little brush. Of course you can use any brush for splatter effect. You can use your water brush, and this one is the Mix and Match Deluxe Water Brush, and it doesn't absorb as well as the stipple, but you have more precision in where your splatters might fall. You can use a fine brush if you don't want them to be that obvious and you want it to be a bit smaller. So I guess the moral of the story is the bigger the brush, the bigger the surface area you'll cover and the bigger the splatters. And the stipple has a very absorbent, so if you want to get a lot of splatter all over your project, that's the way to go. Is to take the nozzle. So the ink from that will be far more opaque than watering down your watercolor gelatos. Letitia's card is a good example of controlled splatter. She simply used the natural splatter from her spray ink. One of the easiest ways to incorporate splatter into your everyday projects is simply by using the excess watered up medium from your stamping. Another fun way to manipulate the splatter technique is by using a straw, and again your watered down watercolor, and again I'm using the Faber-Castell Design Memory Craft gelatos. So you take your straw and you load it up, and then you just blow it across the page, so like that. So the next way to manipulate the splatter technique involves your handy dandy straw, some dish soap, water, and you can use either your reinkers, or if you want something permanent, I suggest using the Design Memory Craft Stampers Big Brush pens. Very cool. You can also splatter different mediums, and this is a card front that I designed using a stencil from Creative Imaginations and some modeling paste. And I hate white spray ink. I think it looks like pigeon poo. So I don't mind it though on a white project. I am going to use gesso to splatter. Now I'm just going to set it aside and let it dry. You can also splatter embossing ink, and this is from Stampendous. I just picked it up from Michael's, and it's a dabber, and I'm just going to dab it into my well. After you heat set it, you're going to want to give it some more time to dry because those splatters were rather large and rather wet, so just set it aside before you complete your project. Angie's beautiful canvas art uses large splatters of pink acrylic paint as a really beautiful accent. I hope you'll join us at splitcoaststampers.com for our Mixability challenge. Thanks for watching!